Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to talk about the scene after the credits for Mutant Mayhem. So, Mutant Mayhem, I gave about my review. I will try to have it in like a link to it towards the end of the video for you guys, if you guys want to watch my initial review. But there's a scene after the credits, that I didn't go over in my initial review, so let's get into it. So as you guys know, the Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem ended with the Turtles being on high school. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the Turtles going in high school, but that's my prerogative. Like, it's just something about it doesn't like feel right to me, you know. But anyways, the Turtles are going to high school. So we get some things like clips of them like taking part of high school and they're like extracurricular activities, and we also get like this one little clip of like April and Leo talking about TCRI and how TCRI after the Superfly incident has become ghost, but they'll figure their shit out eventually. So essentially, after we get a few clips of the Turtles in like high school life, we get to Cynthia Utrom, which I wouldn't be surprised if they showed her in the next movie to have like an alien looking, brain looking alien in her stomach area, because like they're at this alien race, kind of like Krang in the 80s series, right? Was the best way I can describe it for those of you who aren't familiar with the Ultrons. Where like, you guys know how like Krang had his robotic body, and how his actual body, it was in the stomach of the his mental body. That's kind of how like Ultrons sometimes operate. Even the old 3 Shredder, the old 3 Turtle version of the Shredder was like the one true Shredder was an Ultron, and like his body, he looked human. He even went by the name Orokusaki, but he was an Ultron, and his actual body was pretty much here on his on his costume, and they look legit human, right? So my point is, I wouldn't be surprised if Cynthia Utrom is going to be, if they're going to use the same thing with Cynthia Utrom. Like, her last name Utrom is too much of a dead giveaway, and if they don't do that in the sequel, that will be a massive miss. And I've already been somewhat critical about this film. If they don't make her an actual alien, brain-looking alien in the sequel, then oh my god, I would be so pissed. Anyways, Cynthia Utrom is essentially spying on the Turtles, and TCRI is still around, and I know, like I said, government in my initial review, but the government is the TCRI. So Cynthia Utrom says, okay, call him the Shredder, and we get this really cool shot of the Shredder and then the end of the movie, which I have to say I really enjoyed. That like anonymous look, like that really shot. What I'm trying to say, that like shot of the Shredder that kind of looks somewhat anonymous, but still you can tell like, okay, he's in his Shredder suit, which is cool. Makes me wonder who, like, if they're going to go with the Utrom Shredder, or if Shredder's going to be human. And if they're going to have the Shredder in the sequel, then that also begs the question, does Hamato Yoshi exist in this universe? Because with about every version of the Ninja Turtles that I'm familiar with, that the general public is familiar with the exception of the Michael Bay Turtles. The Shredder, whenever there was Shredder, there's always, Hamato Yoshi at some extent, right? Whether Splinter was Hamato Yoshi, or Splinter was the pet of Master Yoshi. There's always been a Hamato Yoshi, so it'll be interesting to see if they're going to incorporate Hamato Yoshi in the sequel. And if they do, then why didn't Hamato Yoshi, why didn't Splinter mimic his moves in the art of karate, you know? Which I have to say, not exactly having the Shredder as the main villain this movie, because I didn't say this in my initial review, but not having the Shredder in this particular movie was honestly refreshing. We have two movies that doesn't have the Shredder in it, and that's the Turtles in Time film and the '07 Ninja Turtle film. Most of the Ninja Turtle films that we have has the Shredder in it. And I'm not saying this Shredder's a bad villain, because he's a really cool villain. But not having the Shredder be really in this movie until the scene of the credits was honestly refreshing. It was honestly refreshing. I know they originally planned for Shredder being here, and then they, of course, went a different route. And I think most people, when Mutant Mayhem was announced, they expected the Shredder. So I'm really, one thing I have to say that's positive about this film that I didn't say in my initial review, or what I enjoyed about the film, which I probably should have, is the fact that they didn't have the Shredder really be in the film, per se. So I can respect that. And I can actually respect that. And I appreciate that, because now it's this film allowed another villain to take on the limelight. And I'm hoping that Bebop and Rocksteady works for the Shredder in the sequel, because one, it'll be a nice callback to the 80s cartoon, essentially. And two, it's just, when I think of Bebop and Rocksteady, it's always been, okay, well, they're working for the Shredder. Rather than the 80s cartoon, in the Power Rangers Ninja Turtle crossover that I reviewed on this channel, the 2012 Turtles or the Michael Bay Turtles. Bebop and Rocksteady has always been working for the Shredder. So if they don't have Bebop and Rocksteady working for the Shredder in the sequel, I will be honestly disappointed. I would. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. And I'm curious to see if they're going to because I know they're going to do a 2-season arc of the Turtles, right? Or a 2-season series of the Turtles before the sequel comes out. So I wonder if they're going to tease a bit more in the series Shredder's arrival. So I'm honestly interested in that. But what do you beautiful what do you beautiful people have to say? Let me know in the comments section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. I will talk to you fellow mutants later. Later, taters.